Wake up! Wake up! We're making another video. Action, boys. Entertainment on this channel right now, okay? I'm fucking hyped up. Josh Emmett versus... I've been taking these fucking pills, and they're making my brain operate in a weird way. Okay? ABC pills. I know my fucking alphabet, boys. Alright? Josh Emmett versus Michael Johnson. Interesting fucking fight at featherweight. This is his chance. Michael Johnson, if you can win this fight, he's already ranked in the 10 to 15 range after his win over He lost to Darren Elkins. But he's won a lot of fights, and he's in the range right now. He's talked about a featherweight, and this is his chance. If he gets a win over Josh Emmett, he can jump the rankings very high. And obviously, Michael Johnson coming off of the win, the biggest win in his career. Forget Tony Ferguson. Michael Johnson just beat the fucking GOAT, Artem Lobov. Not even joking. I mean, when you're thinking about Artem Lobov, only 15 people have been able to beat him in his entire career. And Michael Johnson is one of those select few. So you've got to give Michael Johnson some credit. Josh Emmett, here's how I feel about Josh Emmett. He's an older guy. He's older than Michael Johnson, even though he's new on the scene. Which is weird, because he took a long time to get into the UFC, because he had some injuries and shit. I think his win over Ricardo Lamas was a fluke. I really do. I think he landed a punch and it knocked out Ricardo Lamas. And before that, we never really saw much streak in him. Much amazing technical skill from him, you know. There was no promise in Josh Emmett before that. He got a decision win over Arantes, whoever the fuck that is. Then Desmond Green beat him by split decision. Beat Scott Holtzman. Also a good guy, but these aren't the streaking wins of finishes that you're looking for. But then he gets a KO punch over Ricardo Lamas. So he's dangerous, and he hits very fucking hard. And he hit Jeremy Stephens very hard in his last fight. Obviously, he's coming off a brutal loss to Jeremy Stephens. Who the fuck is that guy? You know what I'm saying? Jeremy Stephens fucking sent him into orbit with a fucking left hand and then elbowed the fuck out of him on the floor. Josh Emmett was so injured after that fight that I don't know if he's going to come back in top form. So I'm going with Michael Johnson to get the victory here. I think he's just going to outstrike Josh Emmett. I think he might be able to get a TKO, but I think it's safer to go with a decision. A unanimous decision win for Michael Johnson, just outstriking Josh Emmett the whole time. I just think Michael Johnson's seen everything he needs to see right now. He's been in the game for ages. He's got wins over some of the best. He's taken his losses, 13 losses. Not the best career, but he was in the UFC to have those losses. It's not like he came into the UFC like 12-0 like a lot of these up-and-comers are with good records. He's taken his knocks in the UFC. I feel like he's going to get the win over Josh Emmett. I just feel like the stand-up's going to be too good for him. I feel like Josh Emmett, I really do think that he fluked his win over Ricardo Lamas. And I also think that Ricardo Lamas is not the same beast. Not the same beast. He isn't the same guy that had Aldo in trouble in the 5th round beating the shit out of him. He isn't that guy anymore. Although Ricardo Lamas is still in the game and still fighting and still getting wins here and there, I feel like it was a very nice matchup and he made the most of it, and now he's ranked. And I just feel like Michael Johnson's going to sleep him or get a unanimous decision win. Because when he took that shot from Jeremy Stephens, I think he fractured his forehead. His orbital bone got cracked. The concussion of that fucking elbow was brutal. Absolute brutal elbow. And a lot of people were saying about the knee being illegal. It grazed him. It was like I've been watching for this long, so this is a little reference for you old-time fans over there. It's like when, what's his name? Josh Koscheck faked the knee. Someone tried to knee Josh Koscheck in the face, and he went, oh, and it glanced him and didn't really hit. It was exactly the same as that. Josh Emmett, it didn't really hit him with the knee. It didn't affect the fight any way whatsoever. He was already all over the place in Queer Street. It was a grazing shot. I think a lot of people made much more of a deal out of it than was necessary. Jeremy Stephens knocked him the fuck out. And I feel like Michael Johnson is just going to tee off on him for 3 rounds straight. And then there's interesting matchups to be had. And hey, Josh Emmett, man, you're on the main card. So people were obviously paying attention to Josh Emmett. You know, he's on the main card. The UFC believes in him. Michael Johnson is also a big name. People know who he is. He eats his shithole. is most commonly what people know him for. He knocked out Dustin Poirier. He has a lot of good wins that you don't realise he's had. He's the last guy to beat Tony Ferguson by decision. Outstruck him. He's the last guy to beat Dustin Poirier. Knocked him out in the first round. Michael Johnson is dangerous when he gets his style of opponent. A guy who's willing to stand with him and go with him on the feet. And I just feel like Josh Emmett, I don't think he's that good. I really don't think he's that good. And I think Michael Johnson's been looking very good. And even in Michael Johnson's losses at featherweight, I mean, he loses to Darren Elkins in his featherweight debut. Before Darren Elkins got him to the ground in the submission hold, I know that's an important part of the fight, but he was fucking teeing off on Darren Elkins the whole fight. And I think he may have got a little bit overconfident, a little bit too aggressive with his punches, which he's very susceptible to. A lot of times with Michael Johnson, he gets a little bit too trigger happy with his hands and just plants his feet and doesn't move them and then is open to counter shots, you know? I feel like he's going to get the win, though. That would be 3 straight for him at featherweight. Josh Emmett, I like you, but I just feel like you're in a position where you shouldn't be. As much as I know that will anger some Josh Emmett fans, I just feel like he fluked his way in with the Ricardo. Obviously, there's no fluke. First of all, there's no fluke. He knocked out Ricardo Lamas, but I feel like it was a product of good timing, a good, well-placed shot. I just didn't rate the win as much as... Like, Holloway absolutely abused Ricardo Lamas for 3 rounds. I rated that win. It's the same way I think McGregor-Aldo 2 would be a completely different fight. Especially now, obviously. But if McGregor and Aldo rematch straight away, I think it would be a completely fucking different fight. Because Aldo would be a bit more tentative, maybe start with a leg kick instead of lunging forward like that. The problem is with quick KOs, I feel like there's so much more that we don't know about guys when they knock him out in the first round, you know? We don't know. Like, oh, you landed a punch, oh, good job. You know, it doesn't really tell us much. I feel like a rematch between Stipe and DC, no eye poke, that shot doesn't knock Stipe out, we're talking a completely different story. Francis Ngannou versus Stipe. Francis Ngannou looping shots, lands the uppercut. Any other day that could have knocked out Stipe, but it doesn't. You know, there's a lot of unknowns that go into knockouts in the UFC. And I feel like Michael Johnson's going to get the unanimous decision win over Josh Emmett. UFC on ESPN2, Barboza versus Gaethje. Those are my 2 videos for today. I feel like Michael Johnson's just going to be a bit too much for him. Hands, he's going to have the speed advantage, definitely. He's going to be a bit bigger, maybe. I don't know, because Josh Emmett's a fucking thick guy. He's got that thickness to him, boys, you know what I'm saying? He's got the ratios. I feel like Michael Johnson's going to get this one done. A little bit too good on the feet, I feel. He's not going to make the same... Because Ricardo Lamas, although he's good on the feet, he throws a lot of looping shots, leaves himself open. And I feel like Josh Emmett was just able to time that with a nice hook. Drops Ricardo Lamas in one punch. Right on the chin. It was a perfect situation, is what I'm saying. And those perfect situations don't come about a lot of the time. You know? So, yeah. I feel like I'm going to go with Michael Johnson by decision. I think I'm at the point in my UFC analysis mode where I'm thinking I like decisions kind of more than knockouts. Although I love knockouts live, when I'm predicting fights, I like decisions. Because then you know guys have had every opportunity. It's not just a one-punch knockout where, oh, we didn't even fucking learn anything. You know? Like, that fight could be completely different next time. When it's a decision, like Woodley versus Usman, you kind of know how the fight's going to go in a rematch also. You know, Usman even came into that fight injured, and we learned that much. I love decisions. Although I hate them, I kind of love them when I'm looking at fights. Do you guys know what I mean? I hope you do. Anyway. Like and subscribe. My mum's going to be home in 3 minutes. I'm just about finished. There you go. 2 videos for today. Content! Let's go! See you later. Thanks for watching.